Sometimes you have to lose everything to see what actually matters. The freezing wind clawed at the cracked windshield of the old Ford pickup as it idled at the edge of a Walmart parking lot. Jack Bennett leaned his forehead against the steering wheel, eyes closed, jaw tight. Outside snowflakes drifted sideways in the kind of wind that didn't care who it punished. In the back seat, his 10-year-old son Eli slept curled in a thrift store sleeping bag, cradling a tattered sketchbook like a teddy bear. The boy's breath fogged the window, his small frame twitching now and then, caught between dreams and cold reality. Jack hadn't slept in 3 nights. 3 days ago, he sold his last power drill for $20. 2 days ago, he poured the last of their change into the gas tank. Yesterday, he was denied a job stocking shelves at a place he'd once built from the ground up. Today, he had nothing but an empty wallet, a sleeping child, and 1 bar of signal on a cracked phone screen. A soft vibration buzzed in his hand. Another rejection email. "We regret to inform you." Jack didn't even finish reading. He knew how that sentence ended. It was the same as the last 17. He exhaled through clenched teeth, feeling like his ribcage might shatter. His life, 23 years of steady work, a mortgage, a wife, a yard with a busted grill, was now reduced to the rattling of a truck that could die at any second. And it was all his fault. When Sarah left, she took her toothbrush and the idea of we. What she left behind was weekends Eli's weekends. Jack promised her he'd figure it out, that he wasn't a lost cause, that he could still be the dad Eli needed. But as he looked around the cab at the half-eaten peanut butter sandwich on the dashboard and the bundle of unpaid bills shoved in the glove box, he couldn't help but wonder, what if I can't? A sudden cough from the back seat broke his spiral. Jack turned. Eli stirred awake, rubbed his eyes, and blinked sleepily at his father. "Is it morning?" Jack managed a tired smile. "Just about." "Did we make it?" the boy asked, voice hopeful. Jack hesitated. "Make it where, kid?" Almost he lied. Just waiting for the snow to let up. Eli nodded and sank back down, flipping open his sketchbook. Even in the cold, he still drew. Cabins, mostly. Big ones with stone chimneys and wraparound porches. Always in the woods. Always far from here. The boy didn't need toys or screen time. He needed roots. He needed walls that didn't move. Jack closed his eyes and tried to remember the last time his son had slept in a real bed. Then his phone buzzed again. He almost ignored it. But something about the number, a weird area code, piqued his curiosity. He tapped it open. A classified ad appeared in plain black text, no images. "For sale. Mountain cabin. $1. Cash 1930s. Build. Cedar Ridge near Leadville. Final sale. Mature buyer only. No negotiation. No financing. Call for appointment." Jack stared at the ad. It had to be a scam. No one sold a cabin for $1, especially not in Colorado. But something about it didn't read like a con. It read like a test. He clicked the contact number. The line rang twice. Then a woman answered, her voice firm but calm. "This is Martha. Hi. I'm calling about the ad." "Which one, the dollar cabin?" A pause. Then, "Do you have $1?" Jack blinked. "I do." "Then show up at my house in Cedar Ridge by sunset tomorrow. Bring your son. Don't be late." The line went dead. Jack stared at the phone, then at the sleeping boy in the back seat, then back to the ad. He looked out at the snow, the Walmart lights, the cheap plastic bags fluttering like flags of surrender. What do we have to lose, he thought. By the next afternoon, they were halfway up the winding roads of the Rockies, snow crunching beneath worn tires. The gas gauge hovered just above empty. Eli's face was glued to the window, marveling at pine forests that looked pulled from his own drawings. "What if it's like a real-life haunted cabin?" he asked. Jack chuckled. "Then we haunt it right back." They reached Cedar Ridge just as the sun began to dip. It wasn't a town so much as a scattering of clapboard buildings along a stretch of forgotten highway. People stared as they passed, some nodding. Others didn't bother hiding their skepticism. At a crooked blue house surrounded by a lopsided white fence, they found her Martha Whitlow. Silver hair tied in a scarf, blue flannel eyes sharp enough to cut glass. She stood on the porch holding a thick parchment, a brass key, and a cookie in a napkin. "You're late," she said, handing the cookie to Eli. "But not too late." Jack stepped out, unsure. "You're serious about this, $1?" She nodded. "Samuel built that cabin for people who had nothing. Said it only cost $1 to believe in second chances." He blinked. "Samuel." "My uncle," she said simply. "You'll learn about him soon enough." She handed Jack the key and a hand-drawn map. "Don't let the dust fool you. That place remembers everything." Jack unfolded a single-dollar bill from his pocket and handed it to her. She tucked it into a glass jar labeled Hope Fund. Smiled once, then disappeared inside. Eli grabbed his hand. "Can we go now?" Jack nodded. The cabin stood in a clearing by a frozen creek. Stone walls, steep roof, a chimney tall as a watchtower. The front door groaned open like a movie scene. Inside,